haven't done one of these in quite a while. Hey FFU fam, it's Carrie Ingram, the Marketing and Operations Coordinator at FastForward U. I am finally bringing you guys back another one of our regular YouTube videos. This past semester has been super interesting considering the fact that a lot of schools, not just Hopkins, have been in virtual mode, including FastForward U. It's been very interesting trying to do an accelerator program, other events, and other programming all online. Which brings us to today's video topic of how to navigate the online world when it comes to virtual networking. Networking is a huge part of entrepreneurship and just success in general. Who you know is super important in this world, and your connections can get you way further than if you were a hermit or a extreme homebody, which we all kind of have that internally, but sometimes we gotta let it go. So here are my 10 tips on how to master virtual networking, the do's and don'ts, shall I say, and I hope you guys enjoy them. The first do is to dress accordingly. It's been more than half a year that we've been online, but that does not mean that you should slack when it comes to your first impression presentation. Make sure to dress up even if it's only from the waist up. No one will ever know that you're wearing PJ pants, but just make sure you're not wearing the top to match. My second do is to come prepared material-wise as well. Make sure you have your quick pitch of who you are, what you do, and what you can contribute, just like you would in any regular in-person networking situation. And bonus points if you have a quick virtual link that you can throw in a chat when you network with someone, so that way they can quickly read up more about you. And they'll have something to reference later on to remember you with. Tip number 3 is to master whatever technology you're on. Don't just wing it, okay? It's super awkward when you're on a new virtual platform that you're not familiar with, and the basic things you should know how to do, such as writing in the chat, or liking something, giving them a thumbs up, changing your background. These are things that you should figure out before the networking session, not after. You're not going to have that much time to focus on these settings when you are focused on communicating, connecting, and getting to know new people and making meaningful connections. So make sure you do this ahead of time. Tip number 4 is to pay attention to your setting. It's very difficult for different people to find the perfect quiet place or even the perfect lighting when it comes down to using your computer. That's totally fine, and everyone should be a little bit more open-minded during these times, but try to find a place that has the least amount of noise, even if it means going outside of your home and going somewhere that is also still safe for you to network in. Play around with the lighting beforehand, and bonus points, I also recommend having some tissues and a glass of water nearby. You'll be very surprised how quickly you'll need it when you don't have it near you. And it's kind of awkward to just leave your computer to go get that in the middle of networking. Tip number 5, I think, is what we're on. Make sure to turn off your notifications. These can be really distracting, and we have so much technology around us nowadays. So if you have your phone around, another laptop, if you use a separate one for work, whatever technology you have around you, see if you can silence them for the time being. It'll just give you a little bit more ease when it comes to focusing on connecting. Tip number 6 is to show up early. Don't wait until the last minute to sign on. Usually we get adjusted really fast when we have regular meetings or one-on-ones with people that we sign in at the last minute. That's totally fine, because if you know what you're doing and it's accustomed and it's in your routine, there's such a small chance of things going wrong. However, if it's a networking opportunity in which there's going to be multiple people that you have opportunities to connect with, I recommend showing up early. It's never bad showing up early in person. The same goes for virtual. It just makes you a little bit more prepared. You have more time to kind of ease any anxiety that might come with meetings, and it'll just work out better if you do have things you need to troubleshoot. You'll have the time to do that. Tip number 7, I think. Make sure to stay engaged. Usually in in-person networking, it's so much easier to stay engaged in conversation because you're just looking at someone in person and having a conversation with them and really chatting it up. When you're online, things change a little bit. It's really easy to get sidetracked and want to multitask, but people can tell online. You can tell when the lighting changes because your screen might have changed to a more white screen with text on it if you're not focusing on the chat and you're focusing on reading an article or something. And it's definitely noticeable if you have glasses because people can see the reflection. So just remember to stay engaged. The reason why you're networking is super meaningful, and the significance of it doesn't change just because it's online. So take advantage of your situation and stay in there. Be present and you'll get more out of it. The next tip is to make sure that your technology is fully charged. Even if you have to charge it while you are using it, just make sure that your battery life is all set before you go. Kind of scary to be in a networking situation and be at the top of your game in a really important conversation and then have the chance of your laptop shutting off. That would really suck. That'd be really bad. My next tip would be to make use of the chat in any type of technological video communication tool you're using. There's so many different options that you might be using to network, but the chat is really great because it can give you a live written document of everything going on. It's great because you can ask questions without interrupting someone who's currently speaking. You can share links, important resources, and more. And it's just a really great tool to use. It's in everything and it's super easy. Also remember not to just settle at the end of your virtual meeting. After it's done, it's not the end all be all. You want to follow up just as you would in an in-person networking situation. Make sure to grab that person's email while you're networking, again in the chat, so that way you can send them a follow-up email with more information so they can remember you and you can utilize them as a resource in the future. Bonus tip, just in case I didn't get to 10, make sure you have fun. Sometimes virtual meetings can be a little bit more anxiety-producing than in-person meetings because we're so used to being in our own space now, so whenever we have to hop online, not only do we have to worry about communicating well and making things work for us, but we also have to make sure that our technology is working too. And that can be super stressful, but just remember to be lighthearted, have fun, and make the most of your moment. Those are my 10 top tips, do's and don'ts of virtual networking. I hope you guys found these useful, and I hope there's at least one tip in there that you guys didn't think of that you now will do. Alright, I'm looking at you. As always, we hope that you guys enjoyed these videos. Make sure to subscribe so you can stay tuned for more videos coming on this channel. And check out our description box. We have links to other resources such as our podcast, our newsletter, other social media handles, and more. And with all that being said, we'll see you guys next time. Bye guys!